What's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Seth Plays, and we are back again for another Trove event video tutorial. Today we're going to be talking about the absolute devastation event that's going on right now, which is kind of a unique and cool event in that it's going to end up actually giving us a random reward. I actually find this to be really interesting. Go away, Rampage. I don't need you. In the combat section and the allies anyways, you can scroll all the way down and there's going to be Dev Dream. Now, if you guys don't know how Streamer Dream Boxes work, essentially these are items that the developers give out to content creators in the form of codes that you can then apply to your account, and then you're going to end up getting a box or an item that is going to end up opening a random ally or you know, wings or a mount, depending if you're getting from Streamer Dream Box 1, Box 2, or Box 3. And these are all going to end up being completely random. The way that the boxes work is they cannot unbox duplicates. They're only ever going to end up giving you something new, so consider it like a style saver. Now, we've got some developer exclusive allies as well, and these can only be gotten by actually watching the dev streams, which means that most of us are out of luck, but it's not that big of a deal because none of these bad boys are going to end up giving us any mastery, which is pretty cool. Now you can see I kind of, you know, got a really bad one. I've just got one that is quite literally a reskin of the Shield Servitor, as you can see right here. Like it's pretty much the exact same. Like I kind of got the bum prize of it just having a clock for a face, but either way, whatever, I'm okay with that, because the cool thing, like I said, is the fact that everybody is going to end up getting a random ally out of the box, which means that you shouldn't see too many people, you know, all having the exact same item. You know, it's like I feel cool in that I, as well as a handful of you guys, are probably going to end up actually having this guy, and then some of you are going to have some of the other allies. Let me know in the comment section down below what ally you ended up unboxing, or just send me a picture of it on Twitter. I would actually really appreciate it. So anyways, let's get into the quest chain itself. Sorry it took me so long to actually explain all of the introduction of this quest line, but I did think that the prize pool was cool enough that it was worth explaining. So up first is going to be collecting 5 cupcakes. So all you're going to have to do for that is just head on over into the Kandorian biome, which is U2 and up. I was going to say U2 because I was mixing Uber with U. And you're going to essentially be looking for cupcake plants out in the world, or just cupcake enemies, and as you kill them, they're going to end up dropping cupcakes. It's super duper easy, like seriously. And then at that point, you're going to end up getting 5 Bound Brilliance as your reward, which is pretty good considering the fact that the resource is technically time gated now, but that doesn't mean that them actually giving us 5 Bound Brilliance is inherently that good, because unfortunately they have made this a very time gated resource. So before we continue to the next thing, I would actually appreciate right now if you guys would hit the like on the video. It makes the video show up in searches, helps get the word out there so people can end up checking out this tutorial. But in all honesty, I would prefer people end up watching this just because of the explanation at the beginning, because the event itself is very self-explanatory, and I'm sure that most of you have already completed it anyway. So anyways, the next part of the quest is to collect 5 enchanted wood, which you're going to end up heading into U1, the Fey Forest, because that's where you're very commonly going to end up finding this plant. You can end up getting most of these plants through the gardening profession as well, but because you're only going for such small quantities of them, it doesn't really matter. We get a decent reward in that you're going to end up getting 20 dragon coins from it, so that's not too bad. That's a little bit more what I'm talking about, just because most of the events will usually give us like 5 dragon coins, and it's like it's nice to see us actually getting 20, because that's something that's a little bit more valuable. Then up next, you're gonna have to kill bees and fireflies. Kind of weird in the explanation of that, because I don't know if there's any fireflies inherently in the game. There's bees and wasps, but either way, you're gonna head on over into the novice world, or medieval highlands, I guess they call it. They don't necessarily call it novice anymore, but you just go in there and you look for the bee dungeons, or just the bees and wasps kind of roaming around the map. Oddly enough, the gigantic wasp that is at the center of most of the novice dungeons, that guy is not going to actually count as a bee, which is kind of strange considering that it does count in terms of the actual fragments towards the bee dragon. but I'll cover that in another video. Anyways, you're going to end up getting a despoiled divinity from that. So once again, them rewarding us with a very minuscule amount of a time-gated resource. It being time-gated obviously means that the game itself considers it valuable, despite the fact that one despoiled divinity isn't really going to give us anything. But then I'm not trying to be salty or anything. I just think that these rewards could be a little bit more impressive. But I guess most of all, it's just about this little guy right here. And honestly speaking, this quest line's super duper easy. So up next, you're gonna have to defeat dungeon bosses in Treasure Isles or Lost Isles. So interestingly enough, if you're going into normal, you know, dungeon worlds and stuff like that, from what I could tell, maybe I was just getting extremely unlucky, but I'm pretty sure Uber 6 and up is the only world at which you can end up seeing a treasure isle biome that's actually going to generate a dungeon. Again, I could be wrong about this. You know, I've been playing this game for such a long time that I don't really frequent the earlier worlds, so my information of the earlier worlds is a little bit askew. So somebody let me know in the comment section down below, and then if you guys would be so kind as to like that comment, if I see it, I will pin it so that other people can know. But I'm pretty sure in U6 and up is the only way you can find treasure isles. Unfortunately though, or it's Lost Isles, Treasure Isles, Lost Isles. I think it's actually Lost Isles in Prime Uber worlds, but unfortunately, the questline does not seem to actually recognize when you complete those dungeons. So you are just going to have to head into a drowned world of any Uber difficulty, U3 and up, because that is the only place that you're going to be able to actually complete the quest chain, because for some strange reason, at least when I was doing it and going into normal Lost Isle dungeons, none of them actually ended up counting towards the questline. So anyways, you're going to end up getting 5 more Bound Brilliance from that, so that's not too bad that we're going to end up getting 10 as total so far from the quest line. And then next is probably one of the simplest and best rewards that we could ever get, just because it's super duper easy. You gotta collect 10 golden seashells, which quite literally you open a dungeon chest of any Treasure Isles or Lost Isles dungeon, and you're just going to end up getting those almost immediately, just because you end up getting the golden seashells from completing the dungeon, well, not completing the dungeon, but opening the dungeon chest. And then for that, how easy is that? And you're going to get 3 illustrious gem boxes, which that right there already puts those Bound Brilliance to shame, because it's going to go a lot further. Well, or it can anyways, just because the random chance of the items that you can end up actually getting out of the illustrious gem boxes. Illustrious gem boxes, if you guys don't already know, is a very, very difficult, very rare drop to end up getting on gem day. You can only get 3 if you're non-patron user and 6 if you are a patron user. I don't know if I've ever been able to get all 6 of them within a day, because it literally takes hours unless you're like super duper lucky. But what these are going to end up dropping for you is just gem boosters, gem augmenters, I should say, or the contain chaos spark, which is going to end up randomizing one of the stats on your gems. So the fact that we're getting 3 of them means that you're not getting that much of a reward. I guess the Bound Brilliance technically can go a lot further, but the Bound Brilliance is obviously going to end up being a lot more expensive in order to end up actually buying those augmenters. And then we've got mine 200 Crystallized Cloud. If you guys don't already know, this is like mining Crystallized Clouds is not difficult at all. You just go to either a Radiant Ruins or a Radiant Skyland or just a Cursed Skyland, but I recommend you just go to normal Skyland. You're looking for one of the most difficult to mine resources in the entire game. But everybody's already frequented this area and the method of actually getting this ore, because it's how you get the Cloud Dragon, which is extremely easy. You're going to end up gaining 1 Lunar Soul out of this. Count it, 1. And then you have to kill 3 robotic spiders. Now, the strange thing is that, again, I could have just been very unlucky about this, but I didn't actually see any robotic spiders spawn in the Luminopolis version of the Neon biome. I only ever saw them generate in the normal Neon City biome. So maybe again I ended up just getting really unlucky. Somebody let me know in the comment section down below. But otherwise, if that is the case, I would actually recommend that you just stay out of the Luminopolis City and just go to the normal Neon biome, which is all going to end up looking the same on the map, is my point. But you're going to be looking for this little spider guy right here, and out of it you're going to end up getting 5 meta matter, which I guess is good for people that go into the geode stuff. I think it's just kind of apparent at this point and on that we're just always going to end up getting a geode reward, despite the fact that the majority of people don't really want it. 5 mana matter is not a bad resource though, don't get me wrong. And then finally, you're going to have to kill a Fey Dark Queen, or a Dark Fey Queen more specifically. This is just going to end up being a dungeon boss in the Fey Forest biome. So you just keep wandering around until you end up seeing a dungeon that actually ends up spawning this thing. There is going to end up being a such thing as a Dark Fey King as well. I didn't even know that there was a difference. But this giant blue orb dungeon is probably going to be your best bet, because I'm pretty sure that they always end up generating with a Fey Queen. There's a couple of other dungeons that end up doing that as well. And then you're going to end up getting the Dev Dream Box. So that's going to end up being the box that you just click on. You don't even unbox it or anything. It's just instantly going to end up unlocking one of the random dev allies, and there you go. You ended up just getting something cool. Now the stats on all of these guys are not going to end up being super powerful. You're not going to end up using them outside of just the fact that they look cool, unless you're like a complete starting player and don't have any allies. Then of course some of them can end up being quite valuable, but you got to note that none of these guys are going to end up giving you mastery. So technically we didn't get any mastery from this quest chain. At least it was super duper easy though, and that I'm perfectly fine with. And I really like the fact that this quest line kind of gave everyone random rewards. That I really do approve of, you know, like even if we didn't end up getting any mastery out of it, at least we all just kind of ended up getting a prize that is unique to ourselves. Even if other people are going to end up having this ally right here, the fact is that I didn't get any of the allies that most of the other people ended up getting, and I'm probably never going to end up having all of the dev allies, unfortunately, just because I don't frequent the dev streams often enough or long enough to end up actually having a random chance of even getting any of the boxes that even contain any of these bad boys. So anyways, that's gonna do it for me, everybody. Oh my goodness gracious, for a second I thought that was a giant mount. Thanks for watching, everybody. Very much appreciate it. Hope you found this video helpful, and if you did, don't forget to like, sub, and hit that notification bell. If you want to support me, you can always hit that join button down below. It's gonna make you a member on the YouTube channel, which gives you various benefits. And then otherwise, if you want you know, support me by other means, there is going to end up being a link in the description to my merch store. We actually have a new shirt in the store, the Oh Hi Merc shirt, which is a meme that we've covered in other videos, not necessarily in the Trove ones as much, but you guys should know what I'm talking about. And then if you don't have any money but you still want to help me out, you can check out the link down below for Gawkbox. Unfortunately, it doesn't work for everyone in Europe, but if you want to know more, I do have a video explaining just how it all works. Thanks for watching though, everybody. Sign on, stay epic.